Looking at the printed earrings, we can see that the first print is a complete failure. The only part that's recognizable at all is the bottom disc. So we'll definitely need to make changes in FlashPrint to get better results. Looking at the twist earring, we can see that it's much better. The supports haven't been removed yet. We can clean that up, but still there's a little bit of deformation of the discs. After the model is cleaned up, it could still use a little bit more cleanup here, but you can see overall it's not a failure like the blue earrings were, but there are still some issues here. We could probably improve upon this result. One area of concern is because the earring was printed standing up, right? The layers are going from right to left here and up and down from top to bottom here. Where the dotted red line is indicates an area of weakness. So this little tiny loop where the metal part of the earring would loop into is highly prone to breaking or cracking right along the plane parallel to the layer lines. So what changes would we consider making in FlashPrint? First of all, to fix this little loop here, we would have to lay the earring down so that this loop is parallel to the print bed. That way the layer lines would be going from right to left as we're looking at this image, making this much stronger. Looking at our first print, again, it was a complete meltdown. And the reason for this is because this earring is very tiny, and each layer of plastic doesn't have time to fully cool before the next layer on top of it is laid down. So you end up with a kind of molten mess here. One way to alleviate this problem is to simply print multiple copies of the earring at the same time. As the printhead moves from one earring to the other and then back again, each model has time to cool down. So it's not likely to end up in this soft serve ice cream cone effect. Looking at the changes that I made, I duplicated the simple earring and laid the models down. So you can see that this loop is nice and clean, and also the layer lines are moving from right to left as we're looking at the model, making this much more strong than it was before. And you can see that the discs are all nice and clean. And in fact, these supports came off fairly easily. These are the models with the supports removed. You can compare these results to this. So you can see just making a few changes in model orientation and printer settings can improve your print quality. Looking at the green earring, just a reminder, this was our first result. Again, this time I laid the earring down, so we have a much stronger loop at the top. But you can also see that the discs themselves are all much cleaner, and the supports were easy to remove. In fact, you can see they're already separating of their own accord there. And after the supports are removed, this is what we end up with. Again, there's some minor cleaning that occur, but you get the idea comparing this second attempt with this first attempt. So don't be afraid to go back and reslice your models in FlashPrint and try to print them again. If you are very disappointed with your result, don't panic. Again, just remember that minor changes can mean the difference between success and failure when you're 3D printing.